welcome to the Bearhug Club, a pro wrestling podcast of positivity.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bearhug Club podcast. As always, I'm your host, Greg, and at the moment, I'm joined by one of my boos, Garrod.
Hello, Greg.
That was a beautiful entrance, babe. So, we're back after a week-long break. There wasn't really a reason for it. Garrod wasn't free last week, and then me and Jace were like, should we just take this week off? I was feeling a little burned out. Did you have a good week off?
No, I had a week off because I was job hunting and crying myself to sleep and things like that. But I was talking to you about how I'm a drivey boy now. I'm driving here and there. Drove to my hometown, only stalled twice.
Nice.
It was because someone was behind me, and I was very nervous. That's the only reason why I stalled, because I don't want to. I won't stall if I don't think about it. But the second I'm like, I don't stall here, I do.
Yeah. No, I did. As we were talking about before the pod, I did driving lessons very briefly back when I turned 17, but I was probably the most nervous driver on the planet. Like, I'm just a nervous person in general anyway, and not as much as I used to be. But when it comes to like being behind something that you could feasibly kill somebody with, I was very much like overthinking and panicking too much. So yeah. I don't know when, if ever, I'll get my license, but so far I've never really needed to drive. I'm good at walking and taking public transport. I mean, we both lived in London. Like, who needs a car in London? It's a bit pointless.
Yeah. I haven't had anyone beep at me yet. If anything, a lot of the times that I've stalled are like when because I'm in the country, so I'm having to pull into right up next to a hedge to let someone pass, and I'm pulling in and I'm stalling and I've stopped, and then they're like, oh yeah, thank you, and I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. But I imagine the difference between, like, if I stall at a junction, someone beeps at me, and then me, 5'6" gets out, and I'm like, I'm trying my best.
I'm doing my best, man.
They'll probably keep beeping. But if you get out, how tall are you?
Like 6'2", 6'3", I guess.
They'd probably stop honking the horn.
Yeah, I mean, like 6'3" dude with green curly hair steps out. You're gonna think, first of all, what the fuck's going on, and secondly, maybe not.
Yeah, I get out, and they're like, why is this child driving this car? I get out, and I clearly have to lift myself back onto the booster seat.
Hello, where's your mommy? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it hurt a tiny bit, and I was like, why did that hurt?
Sorry, mate. Right now we're just kind of stalling for time because Jace should be here. So we're planning to do. We've kind of come up with two different ideas for a fantasy booking thing we want to do, and we're going to trial one of them today. And Jace is the one who's basically supposed to be leading this one, and he's just not here yet. So the whole first part of this recording, this live stream, could just be us completely riffing and not even really talking about wrestling.
Let's riff. But let's keep it somewhat in the squared circle, right? Maybe
let's keep it in the ring. Yeah.
They had the Wrestling Observer Awards, right? Recently.
They did. I didn't see them all, but I saw a typical article where Jim Cornette was, of course, getting really pissed off because Tony Khan won Booker of the Year. Apparently, he didn't have much issue because I think Tony Khan won. I think AEW won Promotion of the Year and Khan won something else, which he was like, that's fine. But then he took real umbrage with a guy who's never really been in wrestling before, won Booker of the Year. It's typical corny crap of him just basically being like, it's not like how it was back in my day. And it's like, no, it's probably better than it was back in your day.
So the 2020 Wrestling Observer Awards, we have Wrestler of the Year, goes to Jon Moxley. All right, to preface this, a lot of people, when they... Okay,
Well, we should point out
in...
these are voted for as well, so it's not just Dave Meltzer being
I don't think Dave actually even has his own vote, or Brian, or anyone.
No, I think it's purely fans who vote in on this. Yeah.
No votes are weighted or anything like that. It's just subscribers to the newsletter that vote. Which, you know, as someone who is part of the internet wrestling community, as well as just the wrestling community as a whole, it feels more toxic in the internet wrestling community, but when you really think about it, they're just a little bit more quiet at shows until they get a bit pissed. It comes out a little bit more.
The quiet people are the ones who are usually very vocal on the comments section on Facebook. And like you said, once you get a few beers in them, they'll start being really misogynistic, I guess, like that time at that Progress show, which I really want to punch the people sat next to us.
Yeah. There are people that are constantly like, even though they're just like told again and again and again, this is an audience vote, you know, like it's a voted award, like most awards of some kind, you know. Even the Oscars are the committee, the Oscars committee that like are made up of directors that would choose the best director, or cinematographers that would choose the best cinematographer, and things like that. Like with any award other than, you know, a gold medal or any kind of like voted award. Oh, hello, Slice. Any kind of like any kind of award that you vote on means nothing. No awards mean anything unless you literally like get it at the Olympics or like, you know, Premier League or something.
Yeah,
an actual event where you're getting it because you're the best.
Oh yeah, like there's actually had to be a contest you've had to win. Like this is why things like the Oscars and the Grammys don't even matter, even though they've got like professional judges. It's really it really doesn't matter in the end, you know. It's unless people are actually competitive for it. There's not much merit to it.
A lot of people have some kind of
hey Lucy.
I'm sure people have some kind of like buy-in on it, because with the Oscars, right? If you win an Oscar, if your film wins an Oscar, the reason that they vie for that and they release things in Oscar season is because if you win an Oscar, you instantly sell more DVDs or you sell more tickets going. Or
it's just a big advert.
It's a big advert.
Yeah.
For something like this, it's probably not the same. I'm sure there's a little bit of it where someone, if anything, right, it's more for the wrestlers like your Kenny Omegas currently, or your MJFs, who are going to use this as a gimmick, who are going to be like, you know, I won this, I won that, and a lot of them already have. Like Pat McAfee won Best Rookie of the Year, which is fair enough.
I'd say that's fair. Yeah,
especially promo wise, it was great. But yeah, everyone's fucking complaining that it's just like, oh, Meltzer just gives these awards away. It's just like,
well, he doesn't. It's the like. I think that's at least one thing about it. At least it's for the fans, by the fans. You know what I mean? At least it's more of the people's word. Like, fair enough. I think there is a certain kind of like clientele who do like to read the Observer, but even still, it's the fans' pick at the end of the day. It's not Meltzer just saying this person was the best or this match was the best. It's what the people want to put as the best.
So we've got there are quite a lot of different awards, and they vary from like
they've got a fucking huge list. It's ridiculous, like the amount of different ones, because they've got MMA as well, right? It's not just purely on wrestling.
I believe so. The only ones I have here are wrestling ones. The only one I really care about.
Yeah, that's fine.
Best promo of the year. Who do you think won that?
Best promo. Is this like someone who consistently gives one, or is it just like one specific promo?
A promo is kind of like, because when you can say someone is a good promo, you know.
Yeah.
I think that is that.
Probably MJF.
Actually, hold on. Oh, they just listed this wrong. Best on interviews.
Best on interviews. I would have again. Probably is MJF. Like he's just good at all of that. Anything to do with a microphone, kind of him. Or Pat. Pat is kind of like WWE's equivalent to MJF. I think I'd say that's a fair statement. No, it's great, but he's like on the level.
He's not bad. It went to Eddie Kingston, which is solid shout.
Yeah.
Stuff has been really good. Like I've not been hyped for his matches until he said some words, and I'm like, I'm behind this man, 100%. Like even just they released that footage of him giving that kind of backstage speech at Brody Lee's memorial show, and it was just like, you know, well.
Fuck you been?
Shit.
I've been dealing with a baby.
For all the 25 minutes. Honestly.
Oh, getting called out by everyone.
You tried to sweet talk me with pasties. You tried to say, oh, I'm bought a pasty. I didn't even twiddle to learn that can open.
I'm getting wrong for having a can.
It's Thursday. It's not allowed.
You are aware we're live, right, Jace?
You're crafty. I'm going to tip it out.
Anyway, welcome to the show.
So how are you, buddy?
I'm okay. Moving house.
Is that why everyone's a bit on edge?
Yeah. We've had an offer on ours. We put an offer in on one. So hopefully it won't be long.
Fingers crossed, mate. We're just talking about the Observers Awards while we were waiting for you to come. So we're just doing a quick run through on that. Did you see them?
I haven't realised they've been published.
Okay. What have we gone through so far, Garrod?
We basically just talked about best on interviews. Eddie Kingston came up. Eddie Kingston won. One of my favorite awards that they do is most disgusting promotional tactic of the year. If you think about all the disgusting things that have been done in wrestling this year, what is one of the most disgusting things that has been done in wrestling?
Making them still work during a global pandemic.
That's a pretty good one. Forcing people not actually testing them properly.
Yeah.
Temperature checks and things like that. Yeah. That's
generally anything to do with COVID.
Yeah.
Well, the one that pops to my mind about COVID, telling the wrestlers that if they wanted to isolate and not wrestle, that's fine. They wouldn't be punished. And then stripping Sami Zayn of the IC title.
Yeah. So it's along those lines, and weirdly, most of those were WWE related. You know, I don't know why they don't do anything kind of dodgy here and there.
No, they're a good family product.
WWE firing employees during a pandemic where they were setting profit records. Promotional tactic. I don't really see that as a promotional tactic. Well, it depends who you're promoting to. They were probably promoting to the shareholders, so I suppose it's in a sense promoting. It's weird. That's a weird thing now. Promoters don't promote to the audience anymore, apart from I suppose all the other promoters. But the biggest promoter in the world doesn't promote to the fans anymore. He just promotes to the shareholders now.
Well, yeah, they're there who are important to Big Vinnie Mac.
Best announcer of the year.
Best announcer. Excalibur. He's been doing pretty well this year.
Yeah, it went to Excalibur.
Sweet.
Very fair. This feels like because he's been,
I mean, when you look at the usual best people, well, for one thing, Ronaldo left. McGuinness couldn't do any commentary for most of the year until NXT UK opened again, and then I think Barrett's doing pretty well on NXT, but I'm still waiting to see more of what he could bring to it. So yeah, that only really leaves the AEW team, to be honest. And even then, the legends on that, Shivani and JR, can be a bit patchy now compared to what they used to be, but I think Excalibur's killing it.
Yeah.
Can I just make a prediction for next year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, it's going to be Paul White.
Yeah. 100%.
It's going to be Paul White.
We'll see how heavy he is on commentary. I have no idea.
Well, he's 500 pounds, so.
Well, I'm on commentary. It's really interesting to see what he actually wants to do. Does he want to mainly be in ring and just kind of finish off his career there in ring? Does he want to be a manager? Because he came on yesterday and he did the whole I have a signing coming up at Revolution that's going to be Hall of Fame worthy.
Who do we think that is, for one thing? Shall I throw the obvious out there?
Yeah,
The obvious thing. Everyone's going to say CM Punk. Ain't going to be Punk, but everyone's going to be like, it's CM Punk. It's not. It is.
Lesnar.
That's not a terrible shout. I mean, they're going to have to give him a fat check.
Nah,
I mean, Tony.
Henry. I think it's going to be Mark Henry.
Isn't he already a Hall of Famer though?
Yeah, exactly. He's worthy.
Well, no, but that's the thing. They're implying they're not Hall of Famer, but they're a potential future Hall of Famer.
And hasn't Mark Henry said he's gearing up for a match with Orton?
Is he?
In a few months.
I think he mainly just said, well, his main point was like he just wants to wrestle this decade because he doesn't want to be beaten by a Big Show's wrestled in like more than he has.
90s, 2000s, 2010s. That's nearly three. That's 3 decades.
Mark Henry has
4 decades because he had a match last year with McIntyre. So there's another one.
Yeah, that was technically at Mania, but not right. That match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who will sign, but it is the star of the Big Show on Netflix, so I will be watching. And yes, I have watched every single episode of the Big Show. It wasn't actually.
I love that. I love that show.
I hated it, but I really like. It's really weird not calling him the Big Show, but I really like Paul White.
He is funny. He's a funny dude.
He also plays Destiny, which I do. I looked actually the other day. Do you know how many hours I've put into Destiny 2 just on console? Because I also played it on PC.
Are we talking like well into the triple digits here?
Well, it depends on what kind of what measuring stick you want to use. Would you like to try and measure it in minutes, hours, or
hours? We're gonna go hours. Obviously.
You can try hours. Sure, go on.
Are we talking like well over 100?
I just throw out numbers.
2,000.
300.
I've been playing Destiny 2 for 35 days. It'll be 36 when I play it later today. But that's just on console. Anyway, the Big Show.
Craig's doing some calculations.
Also has my love.
Talk amongst yourselves.
That's what, 850 hours or something?
840 hours.
840 hours, there you go.
Bam.
Big brain. I have big brain. Big brain time. He also plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. He's part of that Hollywood crew that all play it.
Yeah. I just really like him. He just seems really nice.
Oh, who doesn't love Paul White? Yeah. He's such a lovely man.
He is.
All right, let's go through just a couple more of the year-end awards. Tag Team of the Year, Young Bucks again. Female Wrestler of the Year, Bayley. Wrestler of the Year, Jon Moxley. Most Outstanding Wrestler of the Year, Kenny Omega. Most Improved Wrestler of the Year, Britt Baker. Most Underrated Wrestler of the Year. So this is the Cesaro Award, right?
Yeah.
This has gone to Ricochet this year.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Most Overrated Wrestler of the Year went to Bray Wyatt. I don't think that's entirely fair.
No. That doesn't make sense.
I can understand what they mean in that he hasn't actually wrestled that much.
There's that, but then he brings more of the entertainment aspect to wrestling, not, I suppose, the actual wrestling now. But Meltzer's all about pure wrestling rather than the whole product, I think. So.
Well, I mean, it's the fans.
Oh, it's the fans that pick this, yeah. Bad form, Observer fans. Bad form.
Technical Wrestler of the Year, also known as the Zack Sabre Jr. Thing now, is also Zack Sabre Jr. wins that. Which was formerly the Daniel Bryan Award.
Yeah, the Daniel Bryan Award.
Yeah.
The Bryan Danielson Award.
Feud of the Year, Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Fair enough. Worst feud of the year, Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Match of the year, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus Young Bucks for the AEW Tag Team titles. That's one of my
because of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's got Dave,
What else?
it's got Dave Meltzer's 3 favorite people in it.
Best show, Dynamite. Worst show, Raw. Yeah.
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 You can't really argue that one.
Best promotion of the year, AEW. Worst
AEW.
promotion of the year.
WWE.
There we go. Best major
WWE
show.
or Impact.
Impact's fine. It's just not-
Impact's doing all right. It's just
Yeah.
very low on the totem pole. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. Point is, none of it really matters. It's like as much as you can say that WWE is still going to make profit, AEW is still going to sit around the 900 mark. Apart from the NXT are now moving to another night. They're moving to Tuesday.
Do we think this is purely to like because they don't want to go head to head anymore, or is it just purely for other reasons?
I think it is.
I think it's a few different things.
Yeah.
I think it is partly the head-to-head because neither of the shows are really seeing a growth in the demo. If anything,
No.
It's kind of plateaued, hasn't it?
Well, AEW is completely still on the demo, which is actually kind of good. Whereas WWE,
It means they've got that fan base and it's being consistent. That's the way you can look at that.
Right, but all of WWE's product are going down in the demo, which is not very good.
Because it's shit.
all that matters is the demo. It's how many people are buying products during the adverts. It's how many people see an advert for Coke and then go like, yeah, I'll have that. Or see an advert for Iron Brew and they're just like, yeah, I'll have that. I don't know who that is.
Oh, see an advert for Budweiser.
See an advert for acrylic paint. Okay.
See an advert for bleach.
Yeah, I think it will be good for both shows because you have NXT that are sitting around 700,000 each week. You have AEW that are sitting around 800,000 each week. I think both shows possibly could reach a million. When you look at the two next to each other and you see them both on around 900,000, right? Your brain goes, if they move to different nights, then both of them are going to go up by that much, right? You'll think like, oh, well, both of them are going to hit like 1.8 mil. It's probably not going to go up that much at all. I think a lot of the people that are watching one or the other are just watching one or the other. I don't think a lot of the people are there just like, oh, which one am I going to watch tonight? Ooh. I predict you're going to see a few of them hit a million every now and again. Hopefully steady growth for both.
Yeah.
Especially AEW, which if AEW does well, then WWE are going to step up.
And then, again, it's like figures like that aren't always what they're looking towards. They're looking towards who's watching it on catch-up generally anyway. You know what I mean? Like who's watching it on Fight TV the night afterwards, who's recorded it to watch it like whenever they can. On top of that.
I was going to say, with the invention of Sky Plus, you don't have to choose which one to watch.
Yeah. You
just can watch one while you recording the other, or record them both.
Yeah. Well, because that will come down to like when the contracts are up for those kind of things, right? When I don't know what the Fight TV contract is like, but when it comes time to pay that again, and then they're like, all right, well, when the negotiations come, and they realize that over this year or however long they're doing it for, when they realize that so many more people are watching it on there, they'll get more money for it. And it's the same with WWE. It's why they're on Sky now, right? Not BT.
They're on BT. No, they're on BT.
Yeah, the same thing will happen there.
Yeah.
Is it worth it for them to have it there? Who knows?
Who knows? Right then, so shall we move over to the point of this episode? So we were trying to do, I guess we call it like a fantasy booking thing. We've come up with two ideas, so we're going to try and trial both of them over the next episode or two. And Jace, you were supposed to take the lead on this one. So do you want to sort of explain how we're doing it this week?
So I've pretty much booked a scenario from where, well, I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I booked it from point A and I've given an expiration date, which will be point B. Basically, I'm just going to go over how I would book that. It is an existing booking that I think was terrible.
Okay.
And to quote a certain Mr. Blompier, I can do it better. So, yeah, I think... So I'll just... And then if you want, you can say yes or no. And then if you want to do it, we can do it. Keep a tally of points. Who's the best at fantasy booking? But we can decide that later.
Can we like chime in with like suggestions for changes as well? Just be like, this is
you can either chime in with as I'm going, or you can wait till the end and say, well, I'd change this little bit. And
yeah, of course.
Whatever you just want to do.
I'm a little southern book trapped in between two northern books.
And if the people watching want to leave a comment as well, we'll put any suggestions on the screen. So please throw some stuff out there while we're going through it.
Yeah. So I am going to book Shayna Baszler from the Royal Rumble 2020 to the upcoming WrestleMania.
So you're doing a year-long book of Shayna Baszler?
That's over a year. That's a year.
I'm going to a year-long booking. I'm doing it.
Okay.
3 months.
Okay.
So basically everything about Shayna Baszler in last year's Royal Rumble, I keep the same, except she wins the thing. Last eliminates Charlotte, wins the Royal Rumble. She's going to WrestleMania. Next night on Raw, Becky Lynch is in the ring. Finally, I've beaten Asuka. There's nothing I can't do. Out comes Shayna Baszler. And I keep that exactly the same. Becky gets a chunk taken out of her. Everything.
You keep the bite? You keep the bit?
I keep the bite. I keep the bite because I want Shayna to be just this animal.
Is she replacing Batista?
Yeah.
Yes. the animal, Shayna Baszler.
I'm not with you so far, but I'll keep with it.
Right.
I'll keep with it.
I'm going to let you finish.
Fast forward to Elimination Chamber.
I'm going to let you finish, but Nia Jax deserves the award.
Yeah, someone got it.
Yeah, fast forward to Elimination Chamber. You got Becky Lynch in the Elimination Chamber. Not completely dominant, but quite easily wins the Elimination Chamber. She continues this path of dominance she's been on since winning the titles at the previous WrestleMania. It looks like she can't be beaten. And then finally, after weeks, and every week, Shayna's coming out. She's attacking Lynch from behind. She's getting in her face. Just every opportunity she can to just weaken Becky, she's taking it. Go home Raw before WrestleMania. Becky's expecting it. She knows Shayna's going to attack her. So she gets there first and attacks Shayna in her locker room. WrestleMania, night 1. We have the match. Baszler. It's not a squash, but Baszler dominates Becky Lynch. Just out-wrestles her, out-maneuvers her at every step. She's shown that not only is she a dominant in-ring competitor, but she's also a dominant at mind games and getting in the heads of her opponents. Baszler wins. She wins clean, and it's dominant.
You've already ruined one of my favorite moments from last year, and that's Lynch having to forfeit the title after Money in the Bank and Asuka looking very cute about it.
No.
Okay.
But in a different way.
I'm sorry, but in my hypothetical, she doesn't get pregnant. All right, that's what Jace is gonna say.
Rollins can't get it up, huh?
No, she does get pregnant. So the only thing I'm changing about the pregnancy, is I push it back.
Triangle. Okay.
So Money in the Bank. Again, keep that exactly the same. But Becky is in the match. She wins Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Then not the next night on Raw, but the week after, that's when she announces her pregnancy.
And relinquishes the money in the bank.
Relinquishes the money in the bank to Asuka. And we still have that lovely moment of Asuka, a cute little face.
Okay.
To be a mummy.
Right. Okay. I'm glad you kept that in, but
It feels different, doesn't it? Like relinquishing the title in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
That's smart.
And relinquishing just the briefcase.
Yeah.
Like two different things.
Yeah.
It's just like here, you're the best wrestler in the world. You've earned this title. Instead of, hey, you're the best wrestler in the world. Here's a box.
It just feels like in that scenario, because the whole thing was the belt was there the whole time, but we just didn't know about it. This one, it's just more like, shit, I've got to leave for a while. Asuka, come on, take that. You have it. Yeah. Yeah. See, and then, but like, the more logical sense would be, they would maybe have a match to decide it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I think it's because Asuka was a heel at the time, and I think that's what sort of turned her face was that lovely moment she had with Becky.
Okay.
Like, going to be a mammy, and then you see her light up, and you're like, so we sort of keep that. I know you just don't like it, but it's my fantasy book, and fuck you.
All right. Well.
So Asuka's got the briefcase, and as pretty much every face has done. Every baby face has done that's had money in the bank. She announces beforehand when she's cashing in. Okay. She said, I want this match to be on a big stage. I will cash in at SummerSlam against whoever the champion is. And right through from Money in the Bank to SummerSlam, Shayna is just running through the women's division. She's beaten Natalya. She's beaten Naomi. She's beaten Lana because it's Lana. Just everyone. She's beaten Nia Jax convincingly. Probably the two most powerful pound for pound fighters in WWE. She's beat them all. You get to SummerSlam. And this is where Shayna starts getting worried in a match because she's like, oh shit, can I actually do this? She can't get any submissions locked in because Asuka's too good. None of her big moves are working. Can't do it. She manages to get Asuka. She launches Asuka over the top rope, and she's just there in the ring on her knees, panting, thinking. And you can just see the look on her face, like, "How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this?" Asuka gets back in the ring. As Baszler's getting back on her feet, Asuka sneaks in, roll up, 2 count. Asuka dominating Baszler, just every big shot she can get. Then Baszler makes a comeback, realizes she can't do this alone. She waves down from the entrance ramp, and out come Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I loved them together. I loved them together in NXT.
I think I know where he's going with this.
So they come down, cause the distraction, allowing Baszler to lock in a submission. Asuka doesn't tap. She passes out. Baszler's still champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we continue on this road of just Baszler dominating. She's avoiding Asuka at all costs because she knows that was the hardest challenge she's had so far. And she's beaten every woman on Raw. So she says, I'm sick of beating all these little girls on Raw. Bring me someone from SmackDown. So then you start getting SmackDown superstars coming over to Raw to challenge her. She's beaten all of them. She's in the ring a couple of weeks before Survivor Series. She goes, I've beaten everyone. No one can touch me. Nothing. No one in this company is ever going to be able to match me. And unless I can get someone I haven't beaten, I am not wrestling at Survivor Series. Then out comes Charlotte Flair. the only person she hasn't had a match with in WWE. She's been gone. She didn't win the title from Ripley at Mania.
Okay.
Ripley went home.
So you're changing that as well.
I'm changing that.
Proper
Okay.
alt history. There's going to be some like butterfly effect, and it's for some reason in your universe the Nazis won. Not much different, but like, you know, occasionally you'll see someone with an armband.
So, and yeah, we haven't seen Charlotte since. She was that humiliated by the loss to this rookie. She's good. She's been gone. She comes back. The match is made. Baszler, Flair, Survivor Series for the title. Match is going ahead. It's pretty even, back and forth. Jessamine Duke, Marina Shafir keep getting involved. Charlotte keeps knocking them down while still dealing with Shayna. Shayna realizes that again, she doesn't know how she's going to beat Charlotte. So instead of relying on any outside interference or anything, she just walks. She just walks off, grabs her belt, walks off. Charlotte runs after her, spins around, clocked with the belt, DQ. So now there's two women that she hasn't been able to beat on her own. She's either had to have outside interference or cause a disqualification. So from now on, she's just going, she's bullying Adam Pearce backstage. She's like, unless I'm defending my title, I am not wrestling. I'm sick of beating these little girls. Again, just avoiding Charlotte and Asuka, making any excuse so she doesn't have to have a match with them. We get to the next year's Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And you've got your final four. Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax. So everyone's ganging up on Nia Jax. Team up, get her over the rope. Jax is gone. And now you've got Asuka, Charlotte, Belair. Asuka and Charlotte disregard Belair. They don't care about her. They just want to win so they can go on and face Baszler. So they're fighting each other. Fighting. Bianca is essentially at this point just stood in the corner, just like. And then they do that spot where they both go over the top rope, land on the apron. That's where Belair comes in. Bang, double elimination. I keep Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Because I really want to see Bianca Belair and Sasha.
Good.
And I like nice, and I like nice things. So now you've got no opponent for Baszler at WrestleMania as of yet. Raw after the Rumble, Becky Lynch comes back. She's had a lovely bouncy baby girl. She's been training.
She sprung back.
I've seen people do it.
No maternity leave. Just like.
Well, to be fair,
in this universe, Seth doesn't, and he's a stay-at-home dad.
Seth is a stay-at-home dad. Yeah.
So Becky's pulling like the pregnancy equivalent of John Cena. Just returning back at the Rumble. Okay.
Yes. So she's there. She makes it clear that she wants revenge for the humiliating defeat against Shayna Baszler. She's entering the Elimination Chamber. And then you go on, you have your Elimination Chamber qualifying matches. So you participants for the Elimination Chamber: Charlotte, Asuka, Becky, Natalya, Nia Jax, Naomi. That's your Raw Women's Elimination Chamber. Come to Elimination Chamber. Naomi, Nia, Natalya are all in the ring. Well, in their pods. Asuka's music hits. She doesn't come out. Do it again. She doesn't come out. Camera goes backstage. There you see Charlotte, Asuka, and Becky laid out with Shayna Baszler just standing over her with Duke and Shafir either side. You've got a trainer like maybe Finlay They're checking on them. A couple of referees. Then a referee says, we need 3 more for the match. So he points at Schaefer and Duke. Get to the ring. You're in the match.
So Becky rules from the Rumble a few years back. They're just there, so it's like, get the fuck in.
Yeah, so they still need 1 more.
It's that World Cup dream where just like all the England players have been injured. There's no one on the bench. It's just like, right, you. And then they point directly at you. I swear that was a Snickers ad at one point.
I think it was.
Okay, now I'm imagining that exact thing, but the women's elimination chamber, and they just point at me.
You.
Oh, well, okay, and I just put on my my ring gear.
I legit thought for the England one, you were gonna say, like Germany's backstage, and they're all laid out, and then the England team who'd got kicked out like a few times before. Then the England team who was like
all of
out.
Germany.
The whole German team. The whole German team.
No, well, the thing is, if the German team were down, they'd go and find more Germans. But in this,
No.
for the English team to come in,
No.
all of Germany must not be able to qualify.
The entire German football team has been taken out backstage,
Okay.
including the reserves. And then what I thought you were going to say was the England team who'd gone out a few rounds previously would just happen to be there. So we're just like, oh, go on then, you get in there.
Just
And that's how we get to the final.
With bloody crowbars.
Oh yeah, wink, wink. So that's how we end up getting to another World Cup victory. We had to sneakily get there.
Anyway, Elimination Chamber. Continue.
Yes, continue.
So Finlay looks behind the camera, realizes he still needs a 6th. Looks behind the camera and just go. So you've got your 5. You've got your 4 in the pods. You've got, say, Naomi, Nia Jax, Natalya, Marina Shafir in the pods, Jessamine Duke in the ring, waiting for whoever's coming out. And then we hear, "This is my brutality." Rhea Ripley.
That was so polite.
This is my
Has she suddenly gone like a bit like less metal in this scenario?
No, I just didn't want to scream into the mic. So Ripley comes out. She's in the match. She just takes it to Jessamine Duke. She remembers all the fucking horrible things that they did to her in NXT while she was trying to get that NXT women's title. Just takes her out. Natalya comes out. She's sick of their shenanigans as well, costing the matches. And so now you've just got 2-on-1. They don't care about pinning each other. They're just trying to get revenge on Duke and Shafir. Shafir comes out, again, more of the same, till all 6 are in the ring. Then they do that spot that I love where they just all hit their finishers. All hit their finishers, just one after the other, get pinned, they're out. Then now the match actually starts. Naomi gets eliminated. Natalya gets eliminated. So you're down to Ripley and Jax.
Okay.
Ripley wins.
Right. Good choice.
By giving Nia Jax a riptide from the top of a pod.
Did she carry her up there?
She climbed. I don't know how it's going to work. But I want to see it, so it's in.
Did she land on her hole?
All right, okay.
Is that where my hole happens in this universe?
That's how the my hole happens in this universe.
Right, anytime we fantasy book, we have to just have some kind of my hole scenario still happen.
Yeah.
The only way I see a riptide from the top cage is if it's only done when the other competitors are there and they catch. Otherwise,
because that is horribly
possibly
dangerous.
Certain death.
Nah.
Possibly certain death.
Or she's just going to literally go through the ring.
Through the ring, I'll take that.
Do the Cactus Jack, Triple H, Hell in the Cell spot. Just have the ring collapse at a certain point.
Yeah. So Ripley's going on to WrestleMania to face Baszler. And I think from here, it's quite an easy story to tell because Ripley's like, you were dominant in NXT. I'm the one who beat you. You've been dominant on Raw. And now I'm here. I'll be the one to beat you. And I don't like Fastlane as a pay-per-view, but I'm going to have it anyway. So you got the weeks leading up to Fastlane. Every week, Baszler, Duke, Schaefer are just jumping Rhea Ripley any chance they get. Sometimes multiple times in a night. Just jumping and trying to wear her down as much as they can before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So Fastlane, Ripley says, okay, I've got two people who hate you as much as I do in Asuka and Charlotte. We're going to 6-woman tag at Fastlane. Raw, go home Raw before Fastlane. It's just a normal tag match. Charlotte and Asuka against Schaefer and Duke. Charlotte and Asuka get injured. Get concertoed. Yeah, I know.
In this scenario, are they kayfabe injured or have you just legit injured them?
No, kayfabe injured.
He's legit put them on the shelf.
I just imagine it's just like, no, I've gone through every scenario. In this one, they definitely get injured.
They have to put the careers on the line.
It's just like, how many timelines did you see? 14,300,001. How many was I not injured?
All right. You're taking this fucking Jessamine Duke pulls out a shotgun.
This is my boomstick. I do.
So Fastlane, they won't cancel the match. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-on-1 handicap match. Ripley comes to the ring. You know, I thought something like this would happen. You do something to make it so I'm on my own. So I had a backup plan. I brought some friends from NXT. Tony Storm, Io Shirai.
Right.
Ripley's tag partners at Fastlane. They get the win. Get the win. They all lock in submissions on all three of them. All tap out. Because again, I love when that spot happens.
So is that Baszler, Duke, and the other one that they've all put in the submission?
They've all in submissions, all tap out. The other one. That's Roderick Strong's wife.
Roddy Strong's wife, then fine. I've got some notes on that when we get back to it. I always forget the other one. Roddy's wife.
So,
Rena Sharif. Okay.
WrestleMania. You've got Baszler with Duke and Schaefer in a corner. Ripley with Storm and Shirai in a corner. And this match goes a good 40-45 minutes. It's just back and forth.
45 minutes. That's like...
It's not fucking Wrestle Kingdom.
That's like many minutes. Do you have any idea how many 40 minutes that is? Sorry, how many 45 minutes? That's 45 minutes.
I'm on it.
Do you have any idea how many 45 minutes are? That's 450 minutes. This is ridiculous.
That's 2,700 seconds.
Not long enough, in my opinion.
That doesn't feel that long.
No.
The reason it's that long is because it's not just one continuous match. Baszler gets herself counted out. Adam Pearce comes out. Nah, not having that.
Nah, pal.
Finally, you doing?
What you doing, mate? What do you think you are?
No, we've got no count outs. She gets herself qualified. Nah, mate. No DQ, no count outs.
Hell, pal. Need count outs.
So now we've got Baszler, Ripley, no DQ, no count outs. And they just go all hell bent. All hell bent? Hell bent for leather. As Judas Priest would say.
Okay.
They're hitting each other with kendo sticks, chairs. They both going through tables. There's a nice little ladder spot with Io Shirai doing a moonsault onto everyone.
Is she wearing a bin?
She can be wearing a bin. I'll take a bin. She's wearing a bin, but she's got one on the bottom as well. She's just a bin.
She's somehow managed to just like encapsulate herself.
Yeah. She's cut a hole in the bottom of one of the bins so her feet can pop out so she can actually do the jump.
So she's essentially the opposite of it. Is it a zorb, they're called, where you're supposed to roll down something safely in a big bubble? Is that the opposite of one of them where she's going to hurt like hell?
Yeah. But it's Io Shirai, she can handle it. She's hard.
True.
She's hard and she's Japanese. If she doesn't do crazy shit in a match, what's the point?
I believe that's written on the Japanese flag.
Yeah. If it's not, it shouldn't be. We're just going to listen to any Japanese people watching.
It's them. Hey, we're saying nice things. We're saying they're hard as fuck. Well,
that's true. Yeah.
We're also saying they're batshit crazy.
To point out to any people who don't live in the UK, when I say hard as fuck, I mean, they're tough people. I don't mean they're,
Strong style, as it were.
Could have multiple connotations still, but go on.
So the match ends. Everyone's laid out. Baszler crawling. Gets an arm over. 1, 2, kick out. Ripley gets up. Just looks pissed. She's bleeding. Because of she got hit in the head with a moonsault and trash can. Gets up, has that blood rage that all wrestlers get for some reason when they start bleeding. And then you two just froze there.
Did we?
You both froze when you both had exactly the same facial expression.
Sorry, we had a bit of blood rage going on.
Hits the riptide. Doesn't just hit it anywhere though. Hits Baszler with the riptide. Not good enough. Picks up Jessamine Duke. Hits a riptide on her, onto Baszler. Picks up Schaefer. Hits the riptide onto her, onto Duke, onto Baszler. Then pins Baszler. 1, 2, 3. Shayna Baszler's year of dominance ends. Now tell me you hated it.
I didn't hate it, but I'm pretty sure Garrett's with me in that we have a few notes. But I do like that you've at least tried to give her the run with the main roster that she's probably should have been deserving this whole time. And you've also given Ripley a more. You've managed to not have Ripley have a downer of a 2020, which is effectively what happened as well. I assume during while the main roster shit's happening, she's been kicking ass in NXT this whole time as the champ.
Yeah.
So the full thing, she this was obviously her call up, so she's not the champion. Who would have won the belt off her when she made the call up?
I would say Candice LeRae or Dakota Kai.
That's fair. I'd give it to Dakota, but that's fair.
Yeah. Dakota Kai with the help of what's her name who helped her?
Raquel
Gonzalez. Yeah.
Call one.
Yeah. Ripley 2.0.
Spanish Ripley.
Yeah.
Yeah. I legit thought you were going with the angle that everyone was wanting, which was going to be 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen.
See, I was, but I don't like Ronda Rousey.
No, here's the thing. You have it be a 4-on-4 Survivor Series style elimination match and have her go out straight away.
Yeah, that could have worked.
It's just smart booking, Greg. It's just smart.
Yeah.
Just smart having the biggest name go out in 30 seconds.
Comes in, they do it at Mania. They have the big entrances, even give Rousey hers, why not? The bell rings. She's calling the fans idiots or whatever it was she called them on the Steve-O podcast. Turns around, bam, straight to a bank statement, taps out, fucks off. Then you get one of the biggest pops of the night doing that as well.
Yeah, probably. Especially if it's Sasha.
You'd probably legit get the fans doing the whole na 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 hey 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 goodbye.
And imagine the pop when Rhea Ripley wins the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, in this hypothetical of yours, does COVID not exist?
Well, they haven't fans this year's WrestleMania.
That is true. That apparently is possibly happening.
Yeah. Well,
25,000 are allowed, apparently.
25,000. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, if they go to Texas, they can have as many as they want now.
Texas just basically been like, whatever now.
There's no mask mandate.
5,000 over the 2 nights.
I think everything in Texas is basically being listed. There's no mask mandate at all anywhere.
Unless, no, there's nothing.
Unless a store, because I mean, on a tangent, stores themselves can say you need a mask to come in, but arseholes aren't going to listen to that.
I mean, all the Karens that live there will be like, you don't know my rights, you can't tell me what to do.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I overall, it's very good. I was a massive Shayna Baszler fan.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can look at someone. Right. So right now we're getting Matt Riddle doing some good stuff and winning a title. Right. Matt Riddle is just a face Shayna Baszler. Like they wrestle very similarly. They both MMA alumni, I suppose. Shayna Baszler down in NXT, her back and forth with Kairi Sane and things like that. That was a great David and Goliath story because she's a convincing Goliath. See, I think where you've gone wrong is still the one where she bites. I just don't think it's needed.
I could see why he's keeping it in because I think in this universe he is legit trying to make Bears look a little bit unhinged as well, I suppose, with her savagery.
Yeah, like giving it like she doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, like Mike Tyson,
Yeah, biting ears.
Yeah, exactly. Make her that kind of dangerous person.
Right, but she can hurt people in so many ways.
So could
right?
Tyson.
So Mike Tyson.
Yeah, but like so many wrestling ways, right? She was the submission magician before NXT. Like she genuinely could fucking do some damage, Just have her come out and break someone's bloody arm. Just have her come out and hurt someone properly.
I think you could still have the biting and the arm breaking stuff. You could basically have in the early days have her do all these kind of crazy like, oh look, she's bitten someone this week. Oh no, she's broke someone's arm this week. She ran someone over with a car this week. Maybe not
She's
that
not
last one.
maybe the biting itself wasn't.
What is it with that family running people over?
It's their thing now.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the biting that was the problem. It was more how it was presented. Because she, from my memory, she practically just went out there and they talked and then she bit, right?
Okay, so what if you dressed it up differently so it wasn't just like very random event to happen? Maybe do the Tyson angle to it. Have her in a match and she just does it.
Yeah, I think
that's like good. That's good heel heat.
I think because like you're saying, this bloodlust thing, right?
Yeah.
Right. Have her put a blood pack in her nose, right? Somebody makes her bleed. Somebody makes Shayna Baszler bleed, right? And she does this. She does this thing where like she pulls it down, and just is so angry and has this bloodlust, like you mentioned, that she bites, right? And she rips a chunk out of someone's neck. Could be Becky's, whoever. Because then it's more like you could even make that more of a character thing. Like the second she, they probably wouldn't do it very often because it's blood, but maybe on a pay-per-view here and there, she literally is the one that sees red. You know.
Well, like here's the thing: she's always been good at that whole sort of in-ring story angle. Like the one thing that really sold me on her was that match where her arm pops out and she has to force it back in with the ring post. You could do like little things like that. Maybe someone does not like a big injury like that to her, but enough that she gets enraged that doesn't necessarily have to be she makes them bleed. She just completely pulverizes them till the match can't continue, sort of scenario. Like referee stoppage kind of angle on one of them. She just completely sparks someone out.
Yeah, she's the kind of character that you could give her a pain makes her stronger type character.
Yeah.
Which match was it that Charlotte won? Where she like had to do the figure eight with one hand.
I remember that. I can't remember the match though.
Yeah, I remember that.
Becky won Mania, didn't she?
Yes.
It wasn't that one. But she was doing the figure eight with one hand. I imagine Baszler could like she's the kind of character where if you have her in maybe her pay-per-view singles debut, right? After the Rumble. In your hypothetical, she wins the first Rumble, right?
Wins the first Rumble, yeah.
You have her go to Fastlane as just like she's already said who she wants to fight. Who did you had her against Becky at Mania, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say who's aligned with Becky in some way. Bayley's still face at that time. Or no, she was heel already, wasn't she?
She's been heel for well over a year, yeah. Quite a while now.
Someone that's close to Becky, right? You have her face them at Fastlane.
Seth.
And just yeah, why not? You have them face them at Fastlane and just like gets injured and kind of revels in it. You know, and even with a dislocated arm, pops it back in again, do the same spot.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, just still absolutely destroyed. Doesn't see bloodlust again. Yeah, I mean, you just have her literally be like bloodthirsty. That's what I'd call her, right? Because they love giving people like a little bit of a title of some kind, whether it's a Shorty G or whether it's you know, the Viper or something like that. I would actually call her like bloodthirsty. Anytime you sort of introduce her or like her, you know, that's what I'd do. Yeah, I'd make it all about that. Fuck it, why not? If she wants to bite someone once and then they never bring it up again, you gotta go all the way fucking in. You gotta be like, nah, she is bloodthirsty, right? She wants to hurt you, and she wants to be hurt, you know? Like, I feel like I'm bordering onto like a full-on S&M Shayna Baszler run. But fuck it, I don't care. She ends up fighting Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley is like, you know, chains and some of her earlier gear was almost BDSM gear-ish. So why the fuck not? I can imagine they have a match and she just like chokes Ripley with one of her chains or something.
Yeah. I think
just comes out one day, new theme song, Chains and Whips Excite Me, or whatever that song is by Rihanna.
Yeah, I actually quite like her.
Comes out in a gimp mask.
Gimp mask, ball gag.
What is
it's basically rated on Summers for everything.
What's the thing that goes at the start of Shayna Baszler's music? That like it's kind of like a chugging steam engine type thing, isn't it? It's kind of it reminds me of like a workhorse type thing. I think there's like hooves clodding along the ground.
I legit can't even remember her entrance theme right now, so I'm a bit useless here.
I know, yeah. I really like it. I don't know why.
It sounded a bit like the Hardy Boys at certain points.
I'm probably not doing it very well. She comes out to EastEnders thing.
I would care to see. That's what they should have done. If the Good Brothers ever come to work for a UK promotion, they've got to have them come out to the EastEnders theme and introduce them as the Mitchell brothers.
Hey, whoa! That could actually be doable for the Progress shows where they do it in like a different time period.
Yeah.
Who would you? All right, then. This is another fancy booking. Well, we do a Progress. We do a Progress 90 show. They come out as the Mitchell brothers.
Like a Mitchell Brothers knockoff, essentially, is what they do.
Yeah. Against Ant and Dec.
But who's Ant and Dec? Who's going to be doing this Ant and Dec? Is this Biker Grove era Ant and Dec as well?
I guess so.
I think it would be, right?
If it's the 90s.
Who's a duo from the 90s?
Will it be either Biker Grove or what was that show they
Keith
did
Howard.
on... Oh, I forgot what it's called now. Is it S&M TV or something they used to do?
SMTV Live.
Yeah, it's either them. It's either that version or Biker Grove. But yeah, who would be them?
They'd have to be short.
Were they were in the early 2000s, right?
Ant and Dec?
No, Mitchell brothers.
90s predominantly. But 90s where I think they were mainly like peak.
I remember them when I was like fucking how old was I? 7, 8. So because all I'm saying is if we go early 2000s, we can do Dick and Dom in Da Bungalow.
Ooh. Right, okay, we'll do both scenarios then. So if they did the 90s show, it'd be Ant and Dec, and then we'll do 2000s Dick and Dom. But if you're doing, if you're doing, excuse me, if we're doing Ant and Dec, it's got to be wrestlers from the Northeast in general. Could we get like Primate and put a wig on him?
You have to shave him.
Maybe, but you could even shave him and he'd be a good Mitchell brother, you know.
That's true as well. He could be one of the Mitchells. Damn it.
Well, why isn't it just the Mitchell against Mitchell?
Who's another
versus Ross Kemp.
Here's another bald wrestler. Battle of the Mitchell brothers.
Who's another bold wrestler?
Stone Cold.
Like half of them.
From the Northeast.
Rampage? Nearly there.
Yeah, but...
You've had a haircut.
Yeah, I've had a haircut. I'm not a wrestler.
Chelsea's going to be so mad at you.
Why?
She likes your hair. She thought, tell you the truth, when we last recorded and she saw you like that, she thought it was weird that you weren't wearing a hat and said it wasn't allowed.
It's an all right head shape. It fits. It's fine.
Yeah, you look good. I like it.
Sorry to throw your bald head under the bus.
Yeah. I got bored on Saturday and Hattie said to us, "Should we cut your hair?" Yeah.
Yeah, well.
So she started hacking out with kitchen scissors.
And it just got
a little bit fine for kitchen scissors.
Yeah.
And then she had to go to her sisters and get her brother-in-law's shears.
Fair enough, man.
Well, I like your pitch. I like the pitch of Shayna Baszler. It's not bad. A little bit of mess here and there. I think.
Do you really need to bring Becky Lynch back so early? Because I just think even in this fantasy scenario, that's far too soon. I think you could swap her with someone else.
The only thing with Lynch is I was trying to think of like realistically who could people see taking the title from her. And the only three I could think of would be Charlotte, Asuka, Becky. If
Kyrie stuck around, you could really like that, and you got a lot of footage to work with for things like that. Because you only brought Becky back for like one pay-per-view build-up, right?
Yes, something like that on it. Yeah.
I think you could bring someone else.
But to be fair,
maybe even
with Becky, I didn't even have a wrestle.
Oh, all right.
I just had to come back. Like she's going to be in the chamber, but then she wasn't in the chamber.
Well, then again, you don't need her. Then you could just swap her with someone else.
Well, yeah, because it's
the chamber match itself,
heat, right? It's to like get cheap heat.
Because the chamber match itself is the odds are against her. It's 5-on-1, so you don't need potential. You don't really need a big star. You just need the bodies to make that believable.
See, I don't know, because if all you're doing is bringing someone back just to not have it happen, if in future it then happens, sure, you can lead into it, but I feel like no matter who you brought, it wouldn't translate to decent heat if it just was like, doesn't matter who you bring, it could be Becky, it could be Trish, it could be anyone like that. But if all you're doing is just they get beaten and nothing happens, then I don't know if it works that well. Maybe for a super babyface, Becky coming back would be babyface. But like how, imagine if you could somehow take someone out of a match that was having like Kofi's rise. That would be a good way. But the only way that you could actually make that work is if then that person becomes who she faces. Maybe that's the point. Instead of Lynch, you make that the person that gets kicked out of the match is Rhea, if you want to do that kind of thing, right? Maybe one of the, like, Marina Sharif or whatever wins ? Somehow, just by heelish tactics. Maybe they start the chamber anyway. Rhea like comes back like injured. That's I don't know, because I feel like just throwing someone out of the match might not work as well.
Yeah, see where you're coming from.
Maybe Rhea comes back to the ring and they've already filled her spot, and she gets in somehow, maybe by like assaulting an official, right? By like taking the key and like getting her way inside, and wins, but it isn't counted officially because she wasn't an official entrant.
Yeah.
Right? Does that work?
Yeah. No, I think that would work.
Yeah. I
don't know. It feels like I'm doing some fucky WWE booking there. Maybe I'd have Shayna in the chamber, right? And she is beating people up so that she can get her horsewoman in there, like you're saying. Because the reason that Marina Sharif and
that could work,
are in there is because people are beaten, right? So she beats up mainly Rhea Ripley is the main one to get her people in there. So really in the chamber it's just Shayna, Jessamine, Duke and Marina Sharif against 3 people, whether that's Nia Jax and Naomi and Natalya or something. Like that. Like she's like being an utter bastard.
I think it worked. That definitely works. It still builds her up as being a beast, but you are moving more into the sort of snivelly heel territory by the fact she's now needing her bezies to try and make sure she stays on top. So it's certainly a good way around that. I think even Jay's way was good. I mean, it is quite always an interesting angle to do that, where you've got the card set, but then last minute before the match it changes. So I think it works either way.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to it, Garrod? Or any other notes?
I'm not sure. I like that it is. It's a weird story doing NXT again, where you have Rhea win from her again, but it leads. It could always tell a story down the line further. Because having Rhea beat Shayna twice, I don't mind that. One of my favorite stories is obviously the Golden Lovers having the only person able to kick out of a certain move be Ibushi. If somehow they do it so that Rhea is the only one that can really get around Shayna, I quite like that.
I don't mind that, because again that just builds into a story in of itself, like you said. Like if you have Rhea win the 2 in big fashion, then eventually Shayna's going to get the 3rd one. probably is maybe you could do it as a Mania, and that's like how you build a match for next Mania. That a bit like Austin, and I suppose Austin and Rock, how Austin's like how he needs to beat The Rock, but obviously you're taking the title out of that picture. Just have it be that Shayna needs to beat Ripley because she just needs to.
But yeah, you could even like go after that, like after Baszler's lost the title to Ripley, she just goes on this spiral of just becoming more and more unhinged, more and more deplorable, depressed. Just everything's just like her world's coming apart, and the only thing that's gonna, in her mind, the only thing that's gonna. All right.
Sorry.
In her mind, the only thing that's going to make her whole again is being able to beat Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
And you could use that again for another long story with Shayna. And I think she does have the chops to carry it off.
Yeah, I think what you could do with that is if you've had this year of dominance, then you basically not necessarily a full year afterwards, but have a year where this is where she's gone into a spiral and is losing a lot.
Yeah.
And then you build that up into her finding her killer edge again to then challenge Rhea at the next Mania.
Yeah, and for the third match, I would not have the title there.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it at all.
I'd have I'd have Rhea lose the title at Survivor Series. Give her a nice long run with it. Have her lose it at Survivor Series or somewhere around there, or have someone cash in Money in the Bank on her to get the title, and then just WrestleMania, Baszler, Ripley. It's just a fight.
Yeah.
Not for a title. It's just for bragging rights.
Yeah. No, I agree. No, that's like a perfect way to go about it, to be honest. I dig it. I think I don't really have anything else to add. Garrod, once again, anything else?
No.
I think we did good there. So, well, thanks for joining us again, everybody. Like I say, we've got two kind of different ideas we want to do for this whole fantasy booking. So, should we go ahead and do the other one next week, lads?
Yeah, we'll give it a try. Make it more
Give it
like
a
an improv on the fly thing where just like we'll throw out whatever and see what sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. If you would like to find us on the usual channels, it's the Bearhug Club Podcast on Facebook and YouTube, Bearhug Club Pod, Instagram, and Bearhug Club Twitter. Not much else coming up this week. I've got some videos I'm trying to get edited because we've done a bit of extra recording for YouTube, so hopefully we'll get that out soon. But if not, just catch us here next week for the live recording. Take care, everyone.